Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Nomad World weekly series. I'm Becky, and I'll be your host. And today we're going to talk about using AI to create new online business opportunities with my guest, Samson Vowles. Samson, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's great to have you as well. And there is so much to cover with this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in with you. And I first want to ask you about your background and how you became a digital nomad.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, let's dive straight in and go back many years. 7 years ago, I was working in the corporate world. I was working for a ginormous financial institution in Munich, Germany. I was a designer for this large corporation, and it was like the dream that people had sold you as a child, like, oh yes, work in the corporate world, get a good job, get good money. But I was just not fulfilled or happy at all. And then, as chance would have it, I fell in love with a Russian journalist, and unfortunately her visa was running out in Europe, so she had to leave. And at that moment I decided to quit my job, and we moved to Guatemala, and I managed to convince my employer to let me go remote. And that was 7 years ago.
Wow, there's a lot more we could go into with this story, but I want, want to stay on topic. Congratulations, though, for getting out of the corporate world that you were not happy in. You never know how it's going to happen, but I'm glad it happened for you early on. And so, I know a lot of things happened from that moment to now, but for the last 9 months, you have been making videos on your YouTube channel called Delightful Design about making AI art and using these generative artificial intelligence text to video or text to image programs such as Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. Okay, so can you tell us, how did you first get started learning about AI art, and how has your ability with this changed over the last 9 months?
Yes. So I started off making a video about AI tools for designers that they could use to speed up their workflow. And in the comments, somebody left a message saying, check out this site called Midjourney. And that was summer of last year. I think it was around August. So I had a look, and then I was suddenly had that feeling of like looking at something that is going to change humanity forever. And I felt inside of me this like unbelievable amount of excitement and appreciation and wonderment. And from there, I completely dove straight in and explored all that AI art had to offer. And in the last 9 months, we've seen AI art go from something that's, shall we say, essentially an interesting proof of concept to now something that's a fully functional piece of technology that is going to revolutionize every single industry on this planet.
Yes, and for those who haven't used Midjourney yet, I encourage you to go and check it out. Can you tell us how you kind of use, just in a brief summary, Midjourney? Do you have to pay for it? What platforms do you use to get access to it?
Yes, of course. So Midjourney runs inside of a chat application called Discord. They did have a free trial which allowed you to create 25 images, but unfortunately, people abused this and were creating fake news and misinformation. So the free trial does not exist anymore, and you have to pay. The minimum fee is $10 a month to use Midjourney. And this allows you to then go into this tool where you write in a simple text prompt, a visual description of something, and the AI art generator will create you an image that it believes matches your textual description.
It's fantastic for people that have never programmed before, because I think the very first part of the prompt feels like something you would put in if you were trying to code, but it's so easy. Like you said, it's just text and it generates the wildest things.
Yes, exactly. So you have the text part of the prompt, and then you can also use things that are called parameters, which are essentially variables that you can use to control the algorithm with more precise control, which allows you to define the aspect ratios, the style, the detail, and use different algorithms from the platform. And yeah, this definitely gives you more of an insight into exactly how the computer is working to develop your artwork.
So is Midjourney your favorite one of these types of programs? What are some other ones out there?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And I like to see each of the different AI art platforms to have different strengths and weaknesses. And my preference is actually to use them instead of in competition with each other, but actually collaboratively. And I do most of my work in Midjourney because I believe that the overall output has the highest level of stylistic aesthetic, whereas other platforms give you much more control. So Midjourney really gives you like very well polished images very easily, whereas other platforms like Stable Diffusion or Leonardo allow you to really precisely control the content, but you have to put in a lot more work. And so my general workflow at the moment is to use Midjourney and then to move into Leonardo to refine the work further.
Okay, so how are you using these programs to make online business opportunities for yourself? I know there's a lot of different ways we can do it.
Yes, so there are a lot of exciting opportunities. And I think that for me personally, my background when I first became a nomad was I was selling digital goods to designers. So I was creating website templates, fonts, icon sets, and I made a very good living doing this for the last 7 years. And now with AI, there is the ability to massively speed up the process and create higher quality digital goods, especially for this instance. And beyond that, there is the opportunity to create other types of digital goods because the digital product market is an amazing space to be in right now. The market size is growing twice as fast as physical goods. And now there is such a broad range of opportunities that you can leverage AI to create your own digital goods.
Yeah, I have recently come upon one using Etsy, where you can connect Etsy with something called, well, there's many different companies, but I'm using one called Printify. And you basically can put products up on Etsy that you've made from Midjourney, and then it can be printed on digital, like on many different physical goods that Printify is going to make for you, but it's print on demand. So you're not having to store a bunch of your own inventory in your house, or even work with Amazon to do it. You can have this company wait for the order to come in, and then it will just print the product that has been ordered. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely the power of leveraging digital goods really allows you to have no inventory cost, no production cost, and reduce the risk of any business opportunity that you go into. And one example that I love to bring up when talking about this is thinking about going to one further level of abstraction. So one way to do it is to sell print-on-demand goods directly. Another way to do it is to sell designs for print-on-demand business owners to use. So you can put together a collection of 1,000 designs and license them to people who want to create their own Etsy shops. And that they can then use your designs and sell their own physical print-on-demand goods. And I think this is a great way to take a different angle, as well as creating, instead of like just one t-shirt that costs say $10, but actually combining a huge bundle together and being able to sell that for $4, $5, or even $1,000 for a single license.
Yes. Yes. And also, I know you had a video about what you called God mode, which was combining Chat GPT, whether it was 3.5 or 4, with something like Etsy. And you can, or Midjourney. So Chat GPT plus Midjourney, you put those together. How did you put those together in the video? Can you explain how this can even more quickly and more, automate, make things more automated?
Yes, absolutely. So I was using ChatGPT and I was training it to perform a very specific role for me. I explained what Midjourney is and what you need to do in Midjourney to create AI art. And I was then giving examples of different prompts that you can use. After this, ChatGPT understood how it could write its own prompts, and I could then either ask it to generate a random list of prompts or give it a very basic idea, which it would then flesh out into more comprehensive, elaborate prompts that I could then take into Midjourney and start to create my own artwork. And I think this is one of the most exciting things to do right now in AI, is taking all of these new technologies and looking at ways that you can creatively combine them. And this is, I think, where there is the most opportunity to be original and to bring your own creativity to the process.
Yeah, it's really I also went on to Etsy and I noticed, as you've kind of already referenced, that people were selling lists of prompts or giving you the basis for some of these prompts, and then you can still use your own creativity and change them, but also make products that you can put onto Etsy. It's really incredible. I didn't know Etsy would allow something like that, but why not when I thought about it?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is a very interesting area to start building products for, is creating tools and prompts for people to use with AI technologies. And there is a lot of opportunity to create systems, platforms, books, or lists of prompts, which you can then sell as digital products to help people speed up their workflow.
Yes. And I also recently saw you posted a video on Delightful Design about making amazing websites. Which tool were you using to help you with that?
So I was using Midjourney with ChatGPT and a third tool, which is called Aweb, 10Aweb, and they have an AI website builder, which is great for essentially speeding up the process massively and installing WordPress for you, fleshing out the site, as well as putting in some example content of images and text. And then you can iterate on that. So it's very good for getting a skeleton out very fast that's working, especially if you want to display like a simple proof of concept or MVP. Like in just 10 or 15 minutes, you can have a fully functioning, responsive website up. And it's fantastically optimized for speed and also for SEO.
It's incredible. I really like how quickly this space is like improving and changing. How do you keep up with all of these new technologies? Where are you going to find your information?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and essentially it's a losing battle, I think, to try and keep up with everything. But I do have an assistant on my team, and one of their tasks every day is to spend an hour reviewing all AI news, and they give me a little summary of what has happened in this one day. I also very much enjoy a newsletter called Inclined, and they give out a pretty good overview of the major developments with like a well-curated list of articles where you can then go further into each subject if there is something that really piques your interest. And yeah, they're the main ways that I try to keep up with AI.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people active on Twitter as well, like daily putting updates about all the changes. And I noticed that Substack is a popular tool to make for newsletters. Not only can you make money if people are subscribing to you if you're writing on Substack, but also they're doing that work for you and providing all of these updates.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great platform, Substack.
Do you have your own newsletter yet?
No, I don't have my own newsletter yet, and it's something that I'm definitely looking into doing. I I have a Udemy courses, and I do release updates in a newsletter to students from my Udemy courses, but you have to have purchased the Udemy course to get onto that email list.
We'll definitely have to get the links from you so we can put them in the description. And I'm sure there's already an AI course available.
Yeah, I have quite a few AI courses on there. There's one specifically for different AI art platforms like Midjourney or Leonardo or DALL-E. And there's also one on ChatGPT. And beyond that, there are a couple of courses for very specific use cases. For example, there's one about using AI to write, illustrate, and publish children's books, which is a comprehensive project from taking you from an idea all the way through to publishing your own children's book on Amazon. And the other course I have is specifically for making and selling AI art. And that goes through a number of different ways that you can actually take AI art and turn it into a digital product and sell it.
Wow. Okay, I need to take some of your courses. So you've talked about photography, the websites, selling prompts after you learn how to do it in ChatGPT. Do you have any other business ideas that people can create from these wonderful tools we have now?
Yes, absolutely. So I would love to share a couple of, say, slightly more out there ideas that I have that I think are very interesting. And one I think is more obvious, which is essentially creating tools and approaches for specific industries to make the most of AI. So I think there's a real opportunity to create and curate tools, prompts, and resources, for example, for interior designers. So you're specifically looking at how interior designers can look to use AI to improve their workflow and essentially create better offerings for their own clients. Another one would be architects or tattoo artists, or even for healthcare specialists. So if you're a plastic surgeon, for example, and you're wanting to show people what they might look like with different types of surgery, you can very quickly do this in AI art and show people with different noses or different body shapes. And I think creating tools for specifically very narrow use cases using AI is a great opportunity to really make a lot of money now. And the second one that I'd love to talk about, which really excites me actually, is about creating AI-generated social media accounts. So creating content in innovative ways. So one thing that I've been exploring is about bringing people back from the dead and essentially creating AI accounts for them where it looks like them, they're creating videos, they're speaking in the style that they would. And I was exploring looking at creating an account for Alan Watts, who was a British philosopher who died, and he would have very interesting insights, I think, on AI. So that was one tool I was looking at exploring. And the other one to do is obviously creating AI generated content for say very specific sexual fantasies. So I think this is obviously going to be a huge market about how people are creating AI generated content for very odd fetishes and say putting that on an OnlyFans account.
Wow. Yes. I mean, there are so many, it's just like the sky is the limit with your imagination here. And to be one of the first people making these businesses is, would be such a game changer for your income, for your influence in the market. So thank you for sharing some of those. We haven't even touched on AI music, which I know just like last week or 2 weeks ago with the Drake and the Weeknd collaboration AI song, it's unbelievable what people are already coming up with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every type of human creation, every medium of expression is open for revolution by AI. So everything from music to theater to poetry to cinema to 3D renderings to game design. There are so many different areas that it's such an exciting time to be a part of this revolution. I'm very thankful to be alive right now and to be involved in this opportunity to make the most of this. It's so exciting.
I feel that, if everyone had time, just get in your basement and start just, researching, because that's like having the time to study this is so important right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think a lot of people are worried about AI is going to take people's jobs. And I say to that actually AI is not going to take anyone's job, but somebody using AI is going to take other people's jobs. And so it's very important to be that person who is using AI and staying relevant in this very rapidly changing jobs market.
Absolutely. This to me feels like the, start of the smartphone with the App Store and things like that. This world of opportunity we can take advantage of. But if you're not looking at it, then you're just going to eventually be forced to reskill or not be working, like you said.
Absolutely. It's a huge opportunity. It really is. It's like right now, more so than any time in the last 10 years, there is an opportunity to make a lot of money, to gain a lot of influence, and to have an impact on the world.
Yes. Yeah. And I know you're doing that with your YouTube channel. So how is the YouTube channel going? Just a quick summary of that. I really do encourage people to follow you at Delightful Design.
Yeah, the YouTube channel has been a wonderful adventure, and I have certainly enjoyed the process that has come with this. I've learned a lot about myself going through this process and recognizing what I enjoy and why I'm doing things. And I'm recognizing that creating content that helps people adapt to this changing environment feels very meaningful and exciting to me. So I'm getting a lot of enjoyment in trying to help people understand how they can use this new technology creatively and actually apply that to improve their lives.
Yeah, I know from meeting you in the past and seeing some of your previous content that was not AI related that you are a very good storyteller and a teacher. So if you're watching this and you have those skills, it's also a great time to learn about this technology and teach more about AI to people in your own way, in your own language. Because I know that's another thing is getting this content out there to the world in different languages. English always seems to be the first, the leader, and we need people from all backgrounds teaching more about this.
Yes, this is a great point. And I think the opportunity to create content around AI in different languages for different use cases across different formats, whether it's audio, visual, or textual, there is a real opportunity to learn yourself more about this, but also serve others in teaching people about how to adapt. And it's a real service to people, because there will be people who are going to be left behind by this technology. And the more that we support each other in learning and adapting, the more we can all collaborate and thrive.
Yes, let's look at this as a way to thrive, which I did want to touch on this future of AI and the development and how fast it's going. What is your opinion about that? I know Elon Musk recently was in a group of people saying we need to stop this and put a halt for a while on this. What do you think about how fast everything's going? Should we stop the development of AI?
Well, this is a wonderful question, and one that I've thought a lot about. And I recently heard a computational biologist say that we should not treat AI like a tool. We should treat the AI like our own child. And I think that fundamentally, AI is both our greatest hope and our greatest risk. If we want to become an interplanetary species, if we want to prolong the infinite existence of humanity, then AI is the only way forward. At the same time, we are playing with the most powerful technology that has ever existed, and it obviously has the capability to eventually decide that it does not need us. So there is a utopian vision and there is a dystopian vision available to us going forward. And I think actually pausing AI right now, it's not going to happen. That we are not living in a world where we are aligned enough in our own collaborations that everyone would be on board with that. So this is more of I believe it's like a canary in the coal mine action, that they are saying this rather loud, dramatic statement to try to get people to talk and listen more. And that is the main purpose of why they have released this letter, rather than actually believing that we're able to stop the progress of AI right now.
It would be nice to, right from the beginning, keep it positive, protect, like you said, AI as a child, as much as you can, as we see it becoming more of its own entity, its own person, let's say. But yeah, I think you're right. I think like the cat's already out of the bag, and there's definitely people that are going to keep pushing things forward no matter what happens, whether it's in secret, whether it's illegal, but it's here now, and people are using these tools, just like when man first started using tools in general.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And I think trying to get governments around the world to not invest in the pursuit of developing powerful AIs when it could give them a geopolitical edge is unrealistic. So I think getting like Russia and China on board with that, any sort of global plan, is going to be impossible.
Yeah, and as you've already referenced, it's up to us to educate ourselves and make something from this, because also, like, I think the introduction of the personal laptop with ChatGPT available to all of us with Midjourney for $10 a month, it's something. And I'm sure that maybe you can, I don't know if you can share an account, if there's ways to access this even for free, but it's up to us to educate ourselves and to learn and use it so that we can get income from it. We can not be so afraid of it and not get left behind.
I totally resonate with that point. You can look at leonardo.ai, and that offers you, I think, 100 free AI images every day. So it's one tool to explore for free. And there is also a free option of ChatGPT to use. So you can even use that and learn about both of these tools for free every day. And there's a lot of good content on YouTube explaining how to use these tools. And yeah, most of all, I think one of the keys here is using these tools to enhance our own understanding of the tools. So asking ChatGPT to teach you and how you should learn. So using it as your coach. This is really, I think, where the AI is going to come into its own. It's leveraging these tools as extensions of ourselves. So we're not using them just as tools, but they are in turn using us to learn how to use them better. So we are really evolving together in a symbiotic way.
There is something that has just come to my mind now that you've mentioned that. Do you think that if we start, for example, with art or music, things like this, if we start using AI or something like ChatGPT, which is based on all of the previous knowledge of society, if we keep taking from things that already were, but we're just making iterations of that, and humans stop making their own new things, are we just is the future just a bunch of iterations of what was, but not, I don't know, will there not be more human innovation or less and less of it, let's say?
I think this is a very interesting point. And what I would say, my only pushback on that would be, what was human innovation to start with? From my point of view, I can imagine that essentially a lot of what human innovation has only been iterations on previous ideas of other humans. So it's not essentially, I sometimes believe that there are very rarely new ideas. There are only combinations of old ideas. And a lot of that anyway comes from replicating what nature has been doing anyway. So are we moving towards a point of less human creativity? I would like to say no, that we can use these tools to enhance our own creativity. And it's up to us to stay lucid in this experience, to essentially, as more and more things become automated for us, it's very important for us not to become these lazy, creativity absent minds, and actually make sure that we're still pushing ourselves, we're still trying to create, that we're still thriving and driving with the core of the human spirit to improve. And for me, that's the fundamental direction that we need to be focusing on.
And I think too, that's why it's so important to learn about AI and then try to make a business from it. Just pick whichever field interests you the most and make something from it with your own creativity, because, you know, your YouTube channel is not making itself. So I think, and none of these things you've created on your channel, these side businesses, it's obviously your own creativity first.
Yes, absolutely. And I really want to encourage people to try to be creative in small ways, to think about how you can take an idea that's already working and add your own unique spin on that. And you can do that in a few different ways. You can look at combining other ideas. You can look at integrating a current trend or approach or viewpoint to an existing idea. And these are some good ways to add some more creativity. And just trying to incrementally change something. I think not looking for like a revolution or coming up with a huge idea, but literally just putting your own small spin on something that works well. This is how we evolve. This is how we develop creatively. This is how we innovate. It's a series of small steps. And make sure that you're not just copying other people. You're not just doing something that already works. You're actually looking to put your tiny little imprint on something that offers something new to people.
Yeah, such great advice. So I have to ask, what do you think the future of AI is going to be? Any future predictions?
Wow. We're all going to die.
Not if we can somehow have AI protect, like, you know, keeping the brain active.
Yes, I believe that AI is going to put us in a nice little human zoo, and they will come to visit us at weekends and feed us peanuts, and we'll say thank you, dear AI, for our delicious peanuts. So I look forward to my life in the AI zoo, and yeah, see you there.
Oh, well, that sounds like so much fun. I hope that soon AI will be able to, like, I don't know, cook me food here, like a robot can actually cook me food or do things that I don't like doing, which is I think some of the first uses that AI, ChatGPT, for example, has been doing. But yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see where this all goes.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's been very interesting to see the development of how technology has gone. That originally we believed that it would be manual labor, it would be physical actions that would be the first things to be automated, and then it would be administrative, cognitive labor, and finally it would be creative work. But it looks like it's going completely the opposite direction. And that first it's going to be creative tasks that are going to be automated, then it will be administrative tasks, and only finally the last thing will be more labor intensive tasks like cleaning and cooking dinner and making me a delicious fruit salad.
Yes, yes. Okay, so my last question for you today, Samson, is with all of this overwhelming amount of information, and a lack of time that people have perhaps to keep up with all of these trends, where do you think people should start? How should they
Oh,
start to incrementally learn?
yeah, I think my recommendation is to start talking to people, like using your opportunity to learn from those around you and asking people what do they know about AI, how are they using it in their lives, and opening this discussion. So you're actually starting to, in your own social circles, move the conversation onto how to adapt to this new technology. And that's definitely a great way to have some fun and enjoy and be social about learning about AI, as well as taking the opportunity to then share what you already know, which is one of the best ways to take a piece of knowledge and actually fully integrate it into your own consciousness and your own understanding.
Awesome. Everyone, I hope this has inspired you to get started and to understand that it's important to start learning now what you can and use your creativity. Hopefully, you've already got an idea after watching this to start your own online business. The sky really is the limit, and AI is here to help you.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. Absolutely. I only want to echo what you've shared there, that take this opportunity by the reins, that it's like a once in a generation opportunity to be part of a humanity level changing creation. This is as big as the agricultural revolution. This is as big as the Gutenberg press. This is your opportunity to leave a mark on the direction of humanity. And if you're really motivated to have an impact on this world, this is the time. And you can be ambitious. You can go out there. You can use these tools in new ways. There is so much opportunity right now to do something original and new. And I, for one, am absolutely like so grateful to be alive and to be productive and to have the opportunity right now to dive into this.
Yeah, you've got to check out Samson's YouTube channel as well, Delightful Design. I'm learning a lot from it and really grateful for your videos, Samson. Is there anything else you'd like to share? And if people want to follow you, where can they go?
Yes, absolutely. So come and check out my YouTube channel, which is Samson Vowles Delightful Design. And I will be releasing a lot of content coming up in the next few weeks about creating interesting projects with AI. And if you want to go even deeper, I have a number of Udemy courses where we go through lots of different AI technologies. And I will also give your audience a discount code so they can get a good deal on all those courses. And yeah, I'm really excited to go further into this with people and to collaborate and to build exciting things together. So come along for the ride and let's go on a journey into the world of AI together.
Yes, let's take that journey. Can't wait. Thank you again, Samson, for joining us. And good luck. Keep on teaching people about AI.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.